Vivian.
Hi. So thank you for having this hearing on these bills. Thank you to the sponsors of these bills and everyone else. I already submitted a bunch of written testimony, which y'all can read. So I'm here mostly on behalf of my friend Tiara Graham, who, she found out, a while back, earlier this year, that her child was lead poisoned. Her landlord wants to flip the house. He's a house flipper. He was part of the Providence Apartment Association at one time. He kept on saying that, my business is fixed prop or whatever, Providence Apartments LLC. And long story short, he never gave her proper notice, 42 hours notice, 2 days notice of entering her home to renovate both her bathroom and her kitchen, and the lead paint that was removed during that time poisoned her child. Providence Code Enforcement is already on their second violation with him. He's supposed to fix things by, Friday, and it's not looking like he's gonna. And she's just really upset. She's really mad. It's maybe not enough for the AG necessarily stepped in, but as we heard from the lawyer earlier and a bunch of other people, it could still have long-lasting effects. I might actually, refer her to that lawyer. She came to a group of us who really care about tenants' rights, looking for answers, looking for what to do, and so I just wanted to speak, her truth. I mean, of course, there's all these other things that she's dealing with too, the habitability. She should have a right to real habitability. There's plenty of other issues. She has mushrooms growing out of the corners of her, floors. She has, leaks everywhere, plumbing issues, black mold, things growing under her sinks. It's just really terrible in her situation, and he's not compliant, of course, either with the lead mitigation certificate. A big thing too, for a lot of these, a lot of landlords have multiple shell LLC companies to keep themselves safe because they don't want tenants finding out who they are. That's why they even come here and tell everyone, oh, well, we're worried about these safety issues or things like that. It's not necessarily about we want to know where your house address is or something like that, but we need to know if we even want to organize to fight for our rights, to be able to meet your other tenants, and to be able to actually, because they probably are having the same problems too. And if we're ever going to be able to organize a strong tenants movement, we need to know just who also has my landlord. And so I really support the lead registry bill. I've also I live in Federal Hill, and I live right down the street from the Childhood Lead Action Project, and I've volunteered with them to go and let people know, especially a lot of landlords in my neighborhood, hey, the city knows that you're not compliant, and you might get in trouble. And they don't care. They've yelled at us and told us that we're words that I'm not going to mention here, and that we're making trouble for them. And we're just trying to be we're trying to help you out. You could avoid civil penalties and things like that. So it's just a really big issue, and so I really urge you to consider supporting the Tenant Bill of Rights. I think there's many great things in there, especially things around good cause eviction. A lot of regular middle class tenants in my neighborhood in Federal Hill are getting displaced from the neighborhood. I work at a restaurant in Federal Hill. Everyone loves the Federal Hill restaurants, but me and my coworkers can barely afford to live in the neighborhood anymore because landlords will just send you a termination of tenancy notice because you can't afford the rent, or they know or suspect that you won't be able to afford the rent that they want to increase it to because they think, oh, maybe we can move in some young professionals from California or Massachusetts or New York or something like that. And we should be able to stop that type of thing from happening. We should be able to, stabilize rents. We're not seeing these small increases of 10% a year. I've seen good landlords talk about how 10% a year is what them as a reasonable person maybe expect in this type of economy. But what we're really seeing is people coming to our organizing spaces when we're talking to our neighbors saying, oh, I just got, like the other person was saying, like from the Center for Justice, they talk to them even more than us. You know, all these people calling them every day. And yeah, they're getting $500 increases, you know, $600 increases, stuff that's just insane. I'm sure Jennifer Wood could attest to that.
Well, thank you. Thank
yeah,
you.
and that's all I gotta say. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.